Coming up next
Coming up next
is Studio Nights.
Studio Nights.
Don't touch that dial.
Don't touch that dial.
Please stay a while.
Please stay a while.
Coming up next is Studio Nights. Don't touch that dial. Please stay a while.
Hi, and welcome to ACMI Studio Nights. I'm Sin, and tonight with me is Hugh Hanley. Welcome, Hugh.
Good to be here, Sin.
Why don't we start out by you telling everybody what it is that you do?
Over the years, my work is singing with young children, but I've come to define what I do more as promoting musical play in early childhood education settings. I visit lots of early childhood programs to sing with small groups of children and teachers. I also do concert programs for larger groups. I do curriculum workshops for early childhood educators, and I've been known to entertain at a birthday party once in a while too. So that's pretty much what I do, but it's promoting musical play. Mm-hmm.
And how did you get involved in this?
It was sort of a roundabout process. I went to college, graduated with a degree in English and Latin. I thought I was going to teach high school, but I found out that I had more in common with a 4-year-old than a 14-year-old. So I knew I wanted to work in education, and this was back in 1976, I guess it was, that I found out that there was this thing before kindergarten called early childhood education, and I worked in childcare. I knew nothing about it when I started, but I was fortunate to get in with some good teachers who did some good modeling, and I'm a self-taught musician. I don't read music or write music, but I've always enjoyed singing, and when I was in high school I picked up the guitar, and I found in my work with young children in childcare that music had a big part to play in the early childhood curriculum. So I started doing music on a daily basis with the children that I was with, and I worked as a childcare teacher for 8 years, 5 years in preschool and 3 years as a toddler teacher with very young children. And it was while I was working with toddlers, I had an afternoon shift, and my mornings were free, and I applied for a grant to the Cambridge Arts Council. I was living in Cambridge at the time, to visit other child care centers to talk about using music in the curriculum and to model, to actually do circle time singing sessions with children and teachers. It being something that I was very interested in, it became something that I acquired a pretty big repertoire and learned a few things about how to manage a small group of children. And at any rate, after the grant ran out, I started getting phone calls and saying, "Oh, we heard you sang with so-and-so, could you come to our school?" And pretty soon my mornings were filled, and I was turning down work, and I said, "Gee, maybe I could do this full time." And so I took the plunge, so to speak. I decided to do it full time, and it's been my full time work now for almost 30 years. Most of my work is in the Boston area, places, child care centers and nursery schools and other early childhood programs that are within a half an hour of Arlington, where I live. But I travel nationally a few weeks out of the year. I've presented a lot of early childhood conferences, sharing what I've learned with teachers and hopefully promoting musical play. So that's pretty much how I got into it.
Oh, sorry.
I was just going to say, I brought my instruments, and I could be happy to show you some of the stuff that I do that I found works really well with young children.
Well, then, let's do it.
Now, these songs and finger plays and music activities are so easy that even a grown-up can do them, so I hope you're up for it.
All righty.
I often, I talk about doing circle time because that's 98% of my work. There are about 30 places that I visit once a month or twice a month or once every other month early childhood programs in the Boston area. And most of that time is sitting with a small group of children in a circle. And I really like that format because it's an inclusive format. And, everyone can see everyone else, and when we sing, our voices are raised together, and it's just an inclusive, participatory sort of experience. And I often start my circle times with a chant because that's something everyone can do. So, let's get the rhythm of the knees. You got the beat, good. Let's get the rhythm of our tummies. Mine's full of pizza.
Yeah, mine too.
And let's get the rhythm of our heads. Gently now, don't hurt the heads. And let's get the rhythm of our knees again. Here we go. Alligator pie, alligator pie. If I don't get some, I think I'm gonna cry. You can take away the green grass, take away the sky, but don't take away my alligator pie. I told you it was easy.
Yeah.
Say it with me. Here we
Oh,
go.
Lord.
Alligator pie, alligator pie. If I don't get some, I think I'm gonna cry. You can take away the green grass, take away
the sky.
Don't take away my alligator pie. And so it goes. I like that chant a lot. It's very open-ended. I learned it at a workshop that I was attending when I was a toddler teacher. And I found out later that it was from a book by a Canadian author named Dennis Lee. He says, if I don't get some, I think I'm going to die. But I changed it to cry because I thought young children could identify with that more. And, you know, all of the material that I do, and I don't make them up, I'm just spreading them around. And everything that I do, I've learned from children and teachers and parents. And I like to say that I've tapped into the early childhood oral tradition. So it's really, it's folk music because it's sung by folks like us. And part of the folk process is changing songs around, maybe because you don't remember them quite the way that they were written or made up, or maybe because you think maybe you have a version that would work better in your situation. So it's a living sort of experience. These songs are alive. We couldn't stop with alligator pie. The children wanted to sing about other alligator foods too, and I always ask the children, you know, what are some other alligator foods we could sing about? Do you have any favorites that you'd like to try?
Alligator soup.
Alligator soup, alligator soup. If I don't get some, I think I'm gonna droop. You can take away my basketball and take away my hoop, but don't take away my alligator soup. You looked a little worried on it. Teachers often are worried when I do alligator soup. The menu is longer than the International House of Pancakes now. We do lots of different alligator foods. Try one more. What's another one?
Well, since you said pancakes, let's try alligator pancakes.
Alligator pancakes, alligator pancakes. If I don't get some, I think I'm gonna cry. You can take away the green grass, take away the sky, but don't take away my alligator pancake. Sometimes we rhyme and sometimes we don't. Poets don't rhyme all the time, and we don't have to either. You know, when I first started singing with young children and they'd make a suggestion like that, and I couldn't think of a rhyme right away, I used to say, oh, you know, maybe we could try that another time. I have to think about it. But, you know, I saw too many disappointed looks on children's faces, and it finally got through to me. It doesn't have to rhyme. Poets don't rhyme all the time, and we don't have to either. Much better idea to go with a child's suggestion than to you know, turn them down because their idea didn't fit into the little box that you have. You know, it's singing. One of the most important things that I try to do with my music, with my musical play with young children, is to let them know that they are music makers. We are now a society of music consumers. And it's happened since music has become big business, back when recordings were developed, and now, you know, that's really most of the music that we hear now is recorded music. But for millennia before recorded music, the only way that you could hear music was to either go to hear live music or to make it yourself. And musical play has been used by children for millennia. It's a huge part of their socialization, of their interaction, of their developing coordination. Music and movement go hand in hand in musical play, and it's unfortunate now that it's not happening as much. I really think that children are at a loss because it's not happening so much in our society. A telling comment that I hear from children often is when I'll sing a song that they've heard or that they know, they don't say, "Oh, I know that song." They say, "Oh, I have that song." Yeah, because it's on the CD, or soon it will be on the MP3 player.
Yeah.
So it's one of the things that I'm trying to do is to let children know that music is theirs to make, not just to listen to and to consume. It's theirs to make, and we're inherent music makers, and it's something that I really try to let children know. And I don't do it in a preachy way. I just do it with them, and they're right on it, you know. So they're learning that just by doing it, that it becomes, you know, just a part of them.
So let's make music.
So all right.
Music.
Yeah. Talk away here. You know what? I should say that in a half-hour circle time with young children, I probably use the instruments maybe for 10 minutes at the most. More maybe if children are suggesting songs that have instruments with them. But I find that the songs that children are really involved in are those hands-on songs. You know this one. There are lots of ways to make spiders. I make mine like this. Some make them like this. Some make them like this. Whatever way you make a spider is the right way. Whatever works for you. Shall we make them climb?
Sure.
Oh, the itsy weensy spider went up the water spout. Down came the rain and washed the spider out. Out came the sun and dried up all the rain. And the itsy weensy spider went up the spout again. You used a motion there that I've never used before. Dried up all the rain. Sure, that makes sense. I think I'm going to... See, this is how I learn.
Yeah, there you go.
This is how I learn. By singing with folks.
Of course, I learned it's the itsy bitsy spider.
Well, I learned it itsy weensy, but I've heard itsy bitsy. And we also do the very fast spider went up the spout, or the... or the big loud spider. Lots of ways to do these songs. Lots of ways. But that being said, well, you know, let's do a song with the guitar first, and then we'll get into some 5 songs. 5 songs. This is the unit that children are most focused on, young children especially. There are lots of songs or finger plays that have 5 as the sort of the basis for them. And here's my guitar. I usually explain to children a little bit about the guitar. It has 6 strings, which we count together. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And these tuning machines make the strings loose or tight. When the string gets loose, the note gets lower. Listen. And when the string gets tight, if I turn the tuning machine the other way, it makes the string tight, and the note sounds higher. Has to be just the right note for the guitar to be in tune. There we go. You know, Sin, if I pluck this string and turn this tuning machine very quickly to make it loose and then very quickly to make it tight, it does sound a little bit like a cow. Listen. What does the cow say?
Moo.
Oh, what does the cow say?
Moo.
What does the cow say?
Moo.
What does the cow say?
Moo. Moo.
Cow says, all the day. One time I heard a real cow, and it didn't say moo. It said, What other animals can we sing about?
How about a duck?
What does the duck say? What does the duck say? What does the duck say? Duck says, all the day. And what does the elephant say?
Oh, I'm not doing this one.
Oh, give it a try. What does the elephant say? What does the elephant say?
Oh, no.
Elephant says, all the day. Now it's not that hard. Tuck in your bottom lip. Yeah, and stick out your top lip. Don't, no, like this. Don't do this. Do this. Not too tight, not too loose. Make the air come out all the way across. You're getting there.
No, ain't happening.
You got to work on it a little bit. Practice in the bathroom.
All right. I'll freak out my cats.
What does the cat say? Meow. What does the cat say? Meow. What does the cat say? Meow. Meow. Cat says meow all the day.
You haven't met my cat.
And so it goes. And, you know, that song can go on for 10 minutes if you let it. There are lots of different animals that children want to sing about. And usually I try to go with it. You know, sometimes if the song goes too long, I'll just switch gears and say, okay, let's do another song. You know, I found that a lot of managing the group, if you will, is not being worried about it. You just sing. If I encourage children to converse at circle time, to have their input, if you will, for song suggestions, or just, you know, talking about this or that. Sometimes, you know, a child will say, you know, they'll have their hand up and say, "Oh, what is it, David?" You say, "Oh, I went swimming the other day," and then another child will say, "I went," and I'll, you know. Instead of, you know, saying, okay, we have to start singing now, just start singing, you know, and it switches gears. And that's, you know, one of the first things that I learned, that's really what works. You know, I didn't show you, I always have this bag with me here. It's all full of different stuff. Whenever I'm at a loss, if you will, or if I need to switch gears, or if I have an idea about something to do, I reach into this bag and often when I chant, we were getting the rhythm with our knees, but these little shaker eggs work really well too. Would you like one or two?
Two.
Two, okay. All right. And I'll get two also. Oh,
Looks like a frog.
wait a minute. There we go. These are great. I find that if you're going to use these shaker eggs, it's good to get them all the same color.
Yeah, okay, I can see why.
Yeah. And if you get pink or purple, make sure they're all pink or purple. Let's get the rhythm of the eggs. Here we go. Eeny, meeny, pepsicini, ubalini, achi-kachi, liberace, say the magic word. A peach, a plum, a half a stick of chewing gum. If you want the other half, this is what you say. A man, Diego, San Diego, hocus pocus, dominocus, sis, boom, ba, say, ma, say, ra, 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 boo, 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 criss, cross, applesauce, do me a favor and don't get lost. We've got lots of other songs to sing. Let me put those eggs away.
Oh.
There we go. You know, I play guitar and banjo and a few other instruments. I rarely bring more than one instrument with me at a time, mostly because, as I say, I don't use the instruments all that much in a half an hour circle time, but I usually do have one or the other with me. I brought my banjo with me tonight, too. We can do a song with the banjo. My banjo, I always explain to the children, has 5 strings. This is a 5-string banjo. Some banjos are 4 strings, but this one has an extra short string, and it's short because it's tuned higher. It's tuned, it has to be tight to make the string a high note, and if this string is tuned so high that if it was long, the tension would be so strong that it would probably break this string. So that's why they make it shorter, and 5 strings. Sometimes this banjo sounds a little bit too loud, so to make it quieter, I tuck this diaper inside the banjo. But it's a clean diaper. It's never been on a baby's bottom. And the children at the Sudbury Cooperative Nursery School put their beautiful handprints on it. Isn't that cool? If I don't put the diaper inside, it's too loud. So I tuck the diaper, and it muffles the sound so I can hear the children sing. And it's not too loud, doesn't hurt their ears. I learned this song from a teacher at a workshop that I was giving. After the workshop, she said, you said you learn your songs from teachers and children and parents. Here's a song that we sing at our school, and the children love it. And interestingly, she taught it to me, and I didn't write it down. I sang it for about a half an hour and then forgot it. And then the next day I went for a walk, and it came back to me, but the words came back differently than the way she had sung it. Well, I finally tracked down the original version, and it was different from the way that I misremembered it. But I had been singing it with the children, and they loved it, and so I've kept my version of it too. It goes like this. There's a train, and it rolls right along the track. Where it goes, nobody knows, but it always comes right back. There's a train, and it rolls right along the track. Where it goes, nobody knows, but it always comes right back. And the conductor says, what's he say?
All aboard.
All aboard! The conductor says, all aboard! There's a train, and it rolls right along the track. Where it goes, nobody knows, but it always comes right back. And the whistle goes, toot toot, and the whistle goes, toot toot. The conductor says, all aboard! The conductor says, all aboard! Sing it. There's a train, and it rolls right along the track. Where it goes, nobody knows, but it always comes right back. And the engine goes, chick chick chick, and the engine goes, chick chick chick, and the whistle goes, toot toot, and the whistle goes, toot toot. The conductor says, all aboard! The conductor says, all aboard! There's a train, and it rolls right along the track. Where it goes, nobody knows, but it always comes right back. And the wheels go clickety-clack, and the wheels go clickety-clack, and the engine goes chick-chick-chick, and the engine goes chick-chick-chick. The whistle goes toot-toot, and the whistle goes toot-toot. The conductor says, all aboard! The conductor says, all aboard! There's a train, and it rolls right along the track. Where it goes, nobody knows, but it always comes right back. And so it goes. That's just a proven winner. They love to sing that song.
It's a very catchy tune.
It is. I found out that the original, I'm pretty sure, was made up by a fellow named Phil Rosenthal, who lives in Connecticut. I have to track him down to make sure that is, because I'm going to record that. I made some CD songbook sets that I made to promote interactive participatory singing in the home and classroom. And I'm making my fourth one now, and I have to check with him. And if it is his song, then I have to pay him I want to pay him royalties for it. So I'm going to check that out. But yeah, it's a great song, really good. How are we doing for time?
I think we've got a few minutes, maybe enough time for one more song.
Just one? Boy, time flies. I
yeah.
can't believe it. Well, I should show you another musical instrument that I sometimes have with me. It's a jaw harp, and it doesn't make any sound like this, not much that you could hear, but if you just bite it very gently and pluck it like this inside your mouth, the mouth cavity really amplifies the sound like this.
So how do you sing with that?
Well, I don't sing with it. I can play a tune with it, though. Like whistling, if you make your mouth big or small on the inside, it changes the tune. Here's a song that I like to do with it. chicken and it wouldn't lay an egg, so I poured hot water up and down its leg, and the little chicken hollered, and the little chicken begged, and the little chicken laid a hard-boiled egg. Did you ever go fishing on a bright sunny day and see the little fishes sporting up and down the bay with their hands in their pockets and their pockets in their pants, and all the little fishes doing a hoochie coochie dance? I went to Cincinnati and I walked around the block, and I walked right into a bakery shop, and I picked 3 donuts out of the grease, and I handed the lady a 5-cent piece. Well, she looked at the nickel and she looked at me, and she said, "This nickel's no good, you see, there's a hole in the middle. It's all the way through." Says I, "There's holes in the donuts too." Thanks for the donuts, goodbye. Children love to hear that sound, and 3-year-olds don't get all of the words to that, but those 5-year-olds think it's pretty funny. So, speaking about 5, we didn't do our 5 songs.
Oh.
Show me your 5 hot dogs. Put them in the pan. 5 little hot dogs frying in the pan. The grease got hot and one went bam. How many now?
4.
Put them in the pan. 4 little hot dogs frying in the pan. The grease got hot and one went bam. How many now?
3.
Put them in the pan. 3 little hot dogs frying in the pan. The grease got hot and one went bam. 2 little hot dogs frying in the pan. The grease got hot and one went. 1 little hot dog frying in the pan. The grease got hot and one went. No little hot dogs frying in the pan. The grease got hot and the pan went bam. They love it. They love it. But see, it's all hands-on. It's stuff, you know, toddlers do that one. They love it. And you know what I do sometimes? I say, and the pan went bam, and then I stop and they say, and then the stove went bam. And then I say, and then the sink went bam, and then I stop, and then they pick up on it. And then the kitchen went bam, and the house went bam, the potty went bam. You know, it goes on and on and on.
Well, I
It's
want to
really fun.
thank you so much for being here.
I wish we could go even longer.
Oh,
I got lots of songs.
Oh, I'm sure.
Thanks, Sin.
Thank you, Hugh.
And thanks to ACMI, too. You guys do great work here.
Oh, thank you. So this has been ACMI Studio Nights. I'm Sin. We'll see you next time, Wednesdays, 7 to 9. Come on down and get involved.